Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, we've got an Ace of Swords. Clarity. I think you are a person with a plan. I think that you have a way of understanding information. You know, you're the one that can find the needle in the haystack. Nobody knows how you do it, but you can. I think you have a very clear vision of what you want, of where you're going, how to get there. Yeah. I think that there has been a revelation recently for you. And it might be a revelation of sort of what your truth is, what your purpose is, what your mission in life is. Sometimes this card is the sword of truth, right? Our own personal but absolute truth, right? And this to me gives you a sense of purpose, gives you a sense of knowing what the goal is, like I said, and knowing how to get there. I think that you know you're very close to that goal, okay? I think that you've sort of stopped asking questions in a way, you know? I think that with the Ace here, it is clarity, but it's not exactly knowing all the answers. This is kind of like not needing to ask the question, knowing that the answers will come to you, that the right information will be there, the right awareness, the insight, the perspective will be there, you know, when you need it. Okay? So with this card, I do think that there is a dawning of insight that's going to be taking place. I know I said you had this revelation already, but I feel like another one's coming. Yeah. I feel like the big payday for you is very, very close, but there's something that you need to see. Maybe there's a final test, maybe there's one last obstacle, and we don't want to sort of miss what that is, right? So Spirit in a way is saying, be very sharp right now. Stay sharp, stay frosty, okay? We're going to put this card into some context. We're going to see what else might be going on here with you. Yeah, see, there's the 7. There's some mistrust somewhere here. I almost feel as if someone is either distracting you or someone is trying to deceive you in a way, or somebody, this is kind of like the haystack, right? That there's just this overwhelming amount of data now, hoping that you're not going to find your way out of this web, you know? I don't know if somebody's trying to take credit for what you're doing. There's the Star card. There's the insight buried underneath the all this incoming data, right? Now we have a Moon, a High Priestess. Are we going to go 4 for 4? No, but we do have a 6 of Cups. Very good. The divine energy is pushing you forward. And it is, I mean, these 3 cards are very insightful cards. Okay? These are very intuitive. All 3 of them are sort of sharing of a similar energy, pushing you toward your satisfaction and your pleasure. Okay? But we've got to stay frosty. We've got to stay sharp, because there is going to be this sort of overwhelming amount of information, or confusing, or sort of misdirection, or, you know, intentional, I think, miscommunication to kind of throw you off the path. Okay? Let's keep going with our energy here. We've got a 4 of Swords. See, it is really about that air energy. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. I think that's a good card considering we have the Moon card here. Oh, and we got the card of the best luck in the world here with the Wheel of Fortune, the Jupiter energy. leading to one of your power cards, the cardinal fire energy, the Knight of Wands. That is one of your superpower cards in action. Okay, so this is really, this is going to work out the best for you. But you've got to keep this air energy under control. You've got to, have your suspicions, have your doubts. Don't be fully trusting of everybody, but trust in spirit, trust in yourself, So it could be that other people are coming in with a lot of suggestions, a lot of criticisms, a lot of better ideas. No. Spirit's saying don't listen to them. It feels as if someone is trying to steal the fruits of your labor. Okay? 7 of Pentacles in the environment. And it's better to kind of know what's going on than to be sort of blindsided by it. Right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here. And, oh, you know what? We forgot to change the guardian of the mystery card. So we need to move Frankenduck to the back of the line. And it is our very own Kelly Kapoor's turn in the hot seat here. So we'll scooch everybody down. Sorry, you have to be patient with me. I usually do this off camera as part of the ritual of, of setting up the next energetic cycle of readings. I change my shirt and we change the guardian of the mystery card. And anyway, so this card over here, we're not going to look at till the end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. Okay. If you have a prediction for this card, you're more than welcome to put it down in the comments below, right? Let's exercise our intuition. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. We have a good portion of major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, of course, we got a little bit of fire, we got a little bit of water, we got mostly air here, and we got a little bit of earth. So we have 1 fire, 1 water, 1 earth, but we've got an overwhelming proportion, kind of a, a 3-to-1 proportion of the air energy. So it seems to me like that is where most of this work is going to take place for you this week, is going to be in your perception, your relationships, your communication, your understanding of other people, and the way that you deal with the people around you in your environment. Okay, it's very important for you to be 4 of Swords, but also be very, very Aries, very Knight of Wands. All right, but let's start with the 7 of Swords, because this is maybe deception. This is, oh, my right ear just started ringing. I think that's, yeah. I think that's someone talking about me, but maybe talking about you. Okay, this could be a card of, let's say there's some gossip going on. There is maybe some sort of a, trying to choose the right word that doesn't make it sound too serious, but it is serious. There might be a group of people that don't particularly want to see you succeed, or that, there could be some jealousy going on, envy. There could be a few people that may try to test you in a way. And I don't know if it's really intentional that they don't want you to succeed, but it feels as if they're going to sort of say, hey, why don't you go over there that way? It's kind of like that old trick where you're looking at someone and they say, hey, look over there. And then most of us just sort of instinctually look over there, and then we get our candy bar taken or whatever. It feels kind of like that. It feels like misdirection. Okay, so be careful of that. We don't have a lot of court cards here, so I don't know that it's any particular person. I think it's kind of Spirit's way of saying, how well are you trusting in yourself and trusting in Spirit versus being sort of led astray by the opinions of others. I think it's very general. I don't think it's a specific person. It's just going to come from a few different places and a few different occasions, okay? But I feel like this is the sort of final test before your great satisfaction that we see with the 6 of Cups in the future position. The Star card underneath everything. This is the insight that Spirit is trying to uncover, or you're trying to dig down through the haystack to find this beautiful light. Okay? And this is the light of gnosis. This is, well, let's look at it this way. Let's start with the moon card, okay? Because this is a process. I think the moon card sort of comes first in a way. Now, we could start at any major arcana in the tarot can be the starting point for our quest, our journey of spiritual evolution and spiritual work, okay? But I want to start with the moon because the moon to me represents darkness. It represents the sort of unknown, scary wilderness that we're suddenly in, okay? This is us not being able to find our way. This is so many different images. Some are frightening, some are beautiful. We don't know what's what. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's illusion. It's kind of like we're dreaming, and sometimes the dream is good, sometimes it's not so good. This is the card of the waning moon. It is the narrowing of the psychic aperture. It is a dimming of the light, the psychic light. Okay? So we can't really perceive anything here. But what we are able to do then is sort of dig for this, or to allow the star energy, and this is underneath the surface now, allow spirit to fill us with the divine light, okay? And this is a process of introspection. The first phase, the star card has really two phases to it. The first one is the introspection. Spirit is shining a light inside of us to show us where our fears are, where our obstacles are, where our buttons are that people can push, where our knots of karma are. Okay? And by working on this process, we come to a deeper knowledge of self, a deeper gnosis. Okay? We're filling ourselves with that divine light. We're allowing ourselves, let's say, to be filled. Okay? And then the second phase of this, of course, is that with the increase of the internal light comes an increase in the perception. That light starts to flow outward, and we're able to perceive the path before us. Inspired by Spirit. Spirit's then shining that flashlight on the sidewalk, and we know where to put our feet. Okay? And this is an enlightening. This is a path of gnosis, a process of gnosis. This sort of creates in us a very clear channel for spiritual light, flowing in and then flowing out, right? From above, flowing in and then down to the earth and to the manifested world, right? And that sort of brings about the high priestess too, because then this is a dawning of the light. This is a widening of the psychic aperture. This is the full or the waxing moon. If this one is the new or waning moon, this now is an increase of that psychic light. Okay, and that's the light that's kind of flowing within us, and it is, as the star card shows, it's pouring out onto the ground at our feet, showing us where to walk, you know. And so these three cards are very connected, and I think the high priestess here represents you allowing that divine light in, especially if we're in that dark forest of that moon card. The high priestess is us sort of opening ourselves up to spirit and allowing that divine light to show us where our fears, worries, concerns are, to show us what is really where our blockages are, to show us what our internal work is, so that we can pay attention to it and we can at least see it. And we know our buttons that other people are going to try to push with that Seven of Swords. And then we can follow the correct path in the outer world. But first we have to open ourselves up. We have to sort of invoke the waxing moon. Okay? So I feel like the star card underneath everything is you really searching for that spiritual insight, wanting the message, wanting the revelation from Spirit. How do I navigate this last sort of tangle of people, of criticisms, of different opinions, of different possibilities? That Seven of Swords is kind of like you're at the final passageway to your goal, to whatever this payday is, right? You're at the final passageway to this, and suddenly 50 doors appear before you, and it's like, oh man, like I thought I was there, but now there's like, there's all these choices, all the doors look alike. So we need some sort of guidance. We need something that shows us which one is the door that leads to our goal and which one is a false door. Okay? And that's kind of like the Seven of Swords. It's like we thought we knew the path straight ahead, right? And then suddenly there's just all these choices and we get turned around. And, there are other people, I think, sort of, there seems to be a lot of chatter around you. And I don't know what that is, but I feel like everybody's sort of putting ideas into your head. And it's up to you to stay frosty, to stay keen, to stay sharp, to stay focused, and not get confused by all these other voices, right? And it could be different thoughts and concerns and worries in ourselves, right? And it could be that there are literally people around you, if this is work, at school, at home, in your whatever. It feels like there are a lot of kind of contradictory messages coming in. Okay, so the star card's what we're searching for. The moon card, I think, is sort of showing this a passageway too, because this is the idea of that dark doorway in front of you. And I think recently you made this decision to sort of go for this goal, that maybe this wasn't a path that you've been on very long. But you know that there's this huge payday at the end of it, and so you took a risk. And you went into the unknown. You went and did something you never done before. You took the initiative to go on this path that you maybe didn't know a lot about. I think it's sort of a new thing that you started to do, and it's a big risk. It was a big big deal. It still is, and I think that the rewards are going to be very, very big. Right, so it's going to be worth the risk. But this was a journey into the unknown. You packed your backpack and you just said, I'm going into that dark, scary forest. Everybody's telling me not to go in there, but for some reason, I'm going in. And I know that it's going to be worth it, right? I mean, it sounds like the beginning of a supernatural horror movie or something. We just watched that movie, The Watchers. Have you seen that one yet? That was pretty good. There's uncertainty here, okay? And in all this uncertainty and all of this, the myriad images that are coming your way and the differing opinions, the different voices, the different information, you're reading two books and they're saying different things, and it's a whirlwind of information when you're trying to find the truth, the certainty, the path forward to lead to this big payday, right? So we're trying to invoke that star energy. And I think the High Priestess is really you, ready to receive that starlight. And the full moon, it's a reflection of the sunlight. The sun's a star anyway, so to me it's a reflection of starlight, okay? And I feel like this is sort of you opening yourself up and just kind of saying, I don't know the right answer. I don't know which one of these doors is the right door. I don't know which one of these people to believe, which one of these textbooks to read, that are accurate. I don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of it's almost with the Ace of Swords too. It's almost like we know our own ignorance and we're willing to admit that I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's simple, right? Sort of telling Spirit, I don't know the answers. Please show me the way. I know what I'm susceptible to. I know that these other people around me are going to push my buttons. So we have to, if we're aware of that, then we can open ourselves up to this divine light, and we can get the insight, the guidance, the intuition, whatever you want to call it, about how to move forward. Because what's in your future in this situation? Pure pleasure. The happiest day of your life. The happiest day. This is really good. Okay, 6 of Cups in the future position. It's all good. It's all pleasure. It's all fun. It's a celebration. It's a party. It's a community. It's a family. This is everybody in harmony. And maybe this is the idea that we sort of, maybe the people that are around you don't mean you any harm, and they don't want to see you fail. What they want to see is for you to pass this test, But maybe it's their job to sort of test you. It's almost like a probationary period or even an initiation, where it's just kind of like you're being given every opportunity to turn around and go home. What are you going to do? And especially when we're in this this dark forest going, let's say we're going this way. We're in this dark forest. We've made this big decision in our life in this moon energy. But now we're here looking for the truth. We're looking for the needle in the haystack. And we're getting turned around. It's like you've been blindfolded and they're spinning you in circles until you're dizzy. And you're supposed to find your way to the oasis, right? And so in this situation, maybe most candidates will turn back. But you're not going to turn back. You're going to invoke spirit. You're going to sort of kneel down rather than trying to stumble in the dark and try to find your way to the right door. You're going to just stop in place and you're going to open yourself up to that divine light, right? And so I think you're passing the initiation here. Okay, and this could be a work thing, school thing, it could be a spiritual thing, could be a spiritual initiation. Spirit's saying something about an animal shelter for you. I don't know if you visited one recently or you work there or you frequent them or something, but I kind of see, like the puppy dogs and stuff like that at the animal shelter. Maybe it's, maybe you're trying to decide what sort of animal to adopt, and I think that's wonderful. But I feel that this is the reception. This is you now passing the test and being granted access, getting the celebration and the big hugs. You're becoming one of the team. You're becoming one of the community. You're becoming part of the family. You're entering this elite club. This is the big payday. Okay, and we could be talking financial stuff too, because there is some strong indications of finances over here on the path of the serpent, which we're going to talk about now. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, helps the channel, and I appreciate the support. I really, really do. Your general energy with the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is kind of, in a way, saying, I'm not searching for answers. This is someone who is sort of, what's the right word? I want to say it's someone who's simple, right? But that sounds bad, I know. But this is someone I think that isn't trying to know everything, that knows they don't know everything, and not that they're content with, I kind of feel like this is a monk energy in a way, right? To me, it feels like someone who is just kind of in a humble robe, hands are folded, and they're not trying to penetrate into the mysteries. It's almost as if, I know that I'm going to be receiving the information. When it's granted to me, it'll be there. And, it's sort of this, it's just sort of a contentment in a way, intellectually. And to me, this is, anytime we get the 4, we start looking around for the 5. So to me, this is saying that where was the 5? Well, with the 7, I think that's pretty close. It's an odd numbered card. We might as well say that's the 5, because that's all the activity. Now you're in this state of peacefulness. Now you're just in this sort of almost Zen-like state that just says, I don't know anything, but I know everything at the same time. So there's a bit of a contentment here. It's no stress. We're not striving to figure everything out. We're letting things be what they are, and maybe this is a sense of gratitude. I don't know if you're doing a gratitude journal. But you should. I think if you're not, you should. Yeah. Even write down in your gratitude journal all those things that you don't know. It's almost being grateful for there being an infinite storehouse of knowledge out there that you don't know anything about. If anything, that gives you a lot of information to receive. So I think that's a good practice anyway. But this is at least not we're not groping in the dark. We're not searching for the door. We're not worried. Okay, stress-free. Right, stress-free. And I think what's going to happen is when we look at the 7 of Pentacles, that to me seems like you're walking through a dark forest, and in the moonlight, things look different. Right? In the moonlight, it looks like a dark card. It looks like nothing, right? I don't even know if you can see that on camera. Does it look like anything's even here? In the moonlight, it's really especially in, well, let's say in the waning moon, when there's barely any moonlight at all. Let's say that light is dimming down. This is getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, you know? It's not looking like anything, right? So the more the moon, let's say the moon is setting or the moon is literally waning right here in, kind of accelerated time, what we're looking at in this forest is getting darker. And the darker it gets, sort of the more our mind, our imagination, our fears start to manifest. Because our soul is trying to create something in that darkness. We think we got to fill it up with something, So anytime you're in a pitch black room, sensory deprivation sort of thing, the mind starts projecting images because it feels like it's got to fill the space with something. It's because we are creators, right? And so, that's the time where all of your fears are going to come to the foreground. And that's part of the star energy too. But as the light starts to increase, as we start to get filled with light and the light starts to spill out from us via the star card and the high priestess card, we're going to start seeing this for what it is. This is going to start revealing itself. And I think it's kind of like, you strike a match, and when the light starts to glow and your eyes start to adjust, you see the treasure everywhere around you. You thought you were in this sort of empty, chamber, but here it is, all the treasure, all the gold, all the jewels, on the journey. And I think it's a revelation. I think that you're going to find that this isn't a situation that is unsuccessful, right? This is the card of failure. And we're looking at failure in the environment. And when we're here in the moon card and we're kind of stuck in the middle of things, we might be perceiving things as this was a bad idea. And this is what gets people to turn around, that they get confronted with this darkness and they feel like they start to see a little bit of what's there, and it's nothing. It's not success, right? But as the light starts to increase, the spiritual light, we start to see that this is really, well, what it really is the Wheel of Fortune. It's all of this abundance and treasure around you. It's kind of like you're looking in the refrigerator and it's empty. Well, turn on the light. And then you'll see, oh, it's spilling over with food, coming out here. So, I think this is a matter of trusting in spirit, trusting the path and moving forward, knowing that your eyes might be deceiving you right now, that this other energy coming in, maybe it's a bunch of doubt from other people saying, there's nothing over here. You don't want to look over there. You know how I said it's kind of that energy that says, hey, look over there, to distract you? Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's you looking for the treasure and someone says, hey, don't look over there. There's no food that way, no treasure that way. Don't go that way, right? And I think most candidates will believe it and they'll turn around and they'll go home. They'll say, I quit. There's nothing there. But you're sticking with it and you're going to see that there really is treasure here. Okay, the big payday, very, very close. And that's the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is the Jupiter energy. It is the rewards for all of your labor, for you pushing through this darkness and this sort of the illusion of failure, or the illusion of there being no abundance at all. Yet you're sticking with something that you're not quitting, you're not giving up. You're going to be well rewarded. Jupiter energy, life is expanding, things are growing. You're right, you're on top. You're on top of the world here. This is a really, really successful, abundant, and profitable card. To get this card anywhere in a spread, I think, is perfect. It's in the position of the difficulty because your task is to sort of trust in this and believe in this when what your eyes are showing you in the darkness of the moon energy, that's dark forest, you're seeing there's no life here. Right? Well, things look different in the moonlight, right? And that's what we've got over here. You have to trust that this is real, okay? And that this is going to reward you in a really, really big way. The Knight of Wands as the final card, your power card. You're coming into the best version of this is an initiation into yourself, into the best version of yourself. You're tapping in to your essential Aries nature here. And, that essential, even the stereotyped sort of Aries nature is that you go headfirst into everything. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there's usually no fear, there's usually no doubt. We see here there is fear and doubt. Everybody thinks of Aries as like just rushing into something fearless, right? And yeah, maybe you are, but it doesn't mean you don't struggle with doubt, doesn't mean you don't struggle with fear, doesn't mean that sometimes your eyes deceive you, doesn't mean that sometimes you don't want to just turn around and go home. But you're not. You're not going to. This is bringing you closer to yourself and closer to spirit. And I think there are the financial and rather emotional rewards here. Okay? It is a validation, it's an acceptance, it's a big payday. Let's look at the mystery card. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. For the mystery card, I want to see some really good pentacles, right? I want to see 9, 10 of pentacles, something like this, yeah. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, it's the world. It's the whole world. This is not just the 10 of pentacles. This is an infinite number of pentacles, right? And this is saying that maybe it feels like it's a long journey. It's kind of like when you're in this forest, it feels like years go by. It's only been a couple hours, so it's okay, right? You didn't miss anything on outside in the town or whatever. This is something that feels like it has been going on forever. That's how stressful, that's how involved it is, right? But it's something I think it's taking place fairly quickly. This is opening up a new world for you. I think that your payday, this win that you're experiencing, I think it is you being accepted into a group or into a team or into some elite club kind of thing. I don't know exactly what that feeling is, but it's kind of like this feeling like you made it and you're celebrating with others who have also made it. Okay? And I really feel that that Knight of Wands there is sort of galloping into the rest of the universe. This is kind of like you've conquered this, and now the whole world opens up to you. Okay, that's really nice. There's a sense of fulfillment here. Okay, so I feel that you really are going to experience this big payday, and I think it's going to feel like everything. But if we know anything about this card, it's that there's no boundary to it. There's no end. It looks like there's sort of a circle around it, but it's always expanding, see? So this is also a reminder that your journey's not over. There is more for you to achieve. This is a really big payday, a really big win. Feel it, enjoy it, celebrate it. But even the Knight of Wands at the end is sort of trusting that Aries energy, rushing off into the next thing. Rushing off to the next initiation, the next quest, the next big payday, right? And maybe this isn't the first go-around for you. Maybe this is sort of week after week, right? Or every 2 weeks. I don't know how often you get paid. It kind of feels like this is sort of the risk-reward cycle that we're on, yeah. This is really good. Really good. I'm happy about it. We're going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around. Link up top, link down below. New readings for Aries, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.